I found something on the ground. I picked it up, wondering what we could do with it.
One of the songs on the album is called Blossom, and it's a song I really like now, but it was the hardest one to get right. And it's interesting, that journey of you do the pre-production, you go and record the song, you come back with it, you want to mix it, but it's something that just doesn't sit right. So we did a few changes in the mixing process, we edited some parts out. Erland put down some great guitars on it, and then we fell in love with it. And now it's ended up being the lead single of the album.
Standing on their own when the world collides.
So I started writing Blossom when we were driving in America. We had just been to the Bon Iver, Justin Vernon's festival in Eau Claire, and I was writing the words in my notebook, and then I finished it in the studio when I came home, and I wanted to be like a positive message of that even if you feel like you're on the outside looking in, that you have it in your hands to make it. It's hard to talk about songs and what they mean and what's the message I want to try to give with the song. And Blossom is probably the song that sounds the most positive. It's like that has a beat that is a bit faster than the other songs. It has both light and darkness in it. I start off in the verse by saying that I find something on the ground and I pick it up and I have it in my palm and I can see where it's going. So it's quite a hopeful message that I have a dream or a wish of something to happen. But as we all know, it's not as simple as that. There is always, on your way to making things happen or move forward, there's always going to be sadness and frustration if you don't get there, fast enough, or if you don't think that you will ever get there. So the song is about hope and trying to reach your dreams. My album is called Blossom, and for me that word represents hope and positivity and something new blossoming. And I really enjoyed making the album, and I hope you like it too. To me it feels like I've gone full circle, as I was here once years ago with Peter Gabriel. He recorded some musicians from Tanzania, Charles and Hukwe Zawose. They were my friends, and I had spent 3 summers with them learning how to sing in their tribal language, Kigogo, and learn how to play the thumb piano. And they asked me to come here to help them translate between English and Swahili. And so I spent a week here at Real World Studios. And I remember walking in through that door, coming into this beautiful live room and thinking, this is the most beautiful studio I've ever seen. So coming back here to record my song feels absolutely fantastic. I was so lucky to have such a great rhythm section with me recording the album. On bass I had Geoff Macy, who I've played with for a very long time, and Fabio joined us on drums. It's really important that the drums and the bass gel, and with Samuel, who played the guitars, they sounded great together. We were really lucky to have Fabio De Oliviera on my album. He usually works with George Ezra, and they have a really hardcore schedule, so that he found a gap and could join us in the studio for a few days. That was amazing. He is a great drummer, and he worked really well with Ollie Jacobs, the engineer. I remember one of the days, I think it was the first day, he put a huge drum in front of the bass drum just to get some extra reverb on the drum, and it just sounded amazing. He also is a very good percussionist, so the last thing we actually did in the recording was to get him out all the different percussion instruments he has, and he even had a box of screws that he rattled that actually sounded great later on in the track. And also, it was Ollie's idea to bring Fabio out in the big staircase going up to the offices, and out in the stairwell we had both Ollie and Fabio playing huge bass drums with sticks, and the echo of the stairwell just made that sound amazing. I recorded my album at Real World Studios. I knew it was beautiful, absolutely fantastic studio, so I wanted to be really prepared. It's 12 tracks on the album, and we really wanted to make sure that we knew what kind of arrangements we wanted for each song. So we kind of recorded everything in the pre-production to be able to understand what we wanted when we went into Real World Studios. We had 6 weeks of pre-production here at Church Studios, and I think there's maybe 6 or 7 studios in the whole church. So it's a little community of musicians and producers. I really love it here. It was me and my guitar player Samuel Williams. I really like working with him. He's a really good guitar player, and we also wrote a song during the pre-production that we called Voices that ended up on the album later on. It was a really dark time politically. Trump had just been elected in America, and I was really scared, and I felt that there was a lot of strong voices out there that didn't represent me.
Voices speak in silent ways. Some will break you apart.
I wanted to spend a lot of time on the vocal production of this album, so I invited Karina and Jess, who are 2 singers in their own right. They're really amazing singers, and they said yes to doing the backing vocals on my album. They're probably on at least half of the tracks.
They are waiting, they are waiting, they are waiting.
I think our voices really complement each other. We all sound quite different, and that together makes a really good vocal arrangement.
They're waiting for their moment to win. But it's not. They are waiting, they are waiting, they are waiting. Step away from it and let it be. If you are too close, you won't see it. Now step away. You think you truly embraced what you wanted to do, but now you're caught on this mission and it blurs your vision. Cause you want it, you want it, you want it too much. Now step away. All this confusion left you entangled. Well, you had known for so long, you should have moved on.
I was writing with a composer called Dan Weinberg, and I really enjoyed working with him. He came up with a beautiful piano riff, and we started playing around with melodies and writing the lyrics together. It actually makes it a stronger song to have a really sparse arrangement, so I wanted the grand piano at Real World Studios, where we recorded it. And then we wanted cello on it, because cello is my favorite instrument, definitely. And instead of having the usual string quartet, we overlaid the cello a few times, so you get a really rich sound from the cellos. We worked a lot with vocal production. Did lots of different layers of my voice, especially towards the end of the song, to make it blossom into something bigger.
I can't speak for you.
I had fun writing the song, and I'm really happy how it came out.
I can feel you.
I'm born and brought up in the south of Sweden, but when I was 10 we moved up to a little bit north of Stockholm, Dalarna. It's a beautiful place, lots of forests and lakes, and we shot 2 of the videos there. So I flew out with a camera team, Alex James and Stefan Clark, amazing cinematographers. We shot the first video, I Can't Speak For You, out on a snowy field. We were so lucky because we had heavy snowfall the day before, so we were there for 3 days and it was really sunny, beautiful weather.
The reasons why we wake up are to feel again and make it sure.
We put a black upright, beautiful piano. We opened the top so you can see the inside of the piano. And we had to have a tractor to bring it out there because the snow is like this deep. So when it was out there, we used some skates to move it along so that it would be completely untouched snow around the piano. I was sitting there playing and we had a drone camera moving above us to get the beautiful snowy field and the forestry in the background. It was freezing cold, but it was well worth it, and we had a few hot chocolates inside to warm us up before we went out again. But that's all part of it, and that's really exciting to shoot a music video, so I'm really happy with what we got.
There was a story to be told, but we're missing out.
I wanted to show off the beauty of the nature in the surrounding areas where I used to live. There was this beautiful little lake where I used to swim in the summers, and in the winters we used to go out on skates. So that's where we shot the video.
There was a story to be told.
We had a drone camera following me so you could see the vast lake with a thick layer of ice on it, and then the beautiful forests and islands. So I'm out on the ice on this kick sledge. It's basically a wooden chair on skates, so you can go out 2 people. So one can skate and one can sit in the front and just enjoy the ride. And we call it spark in Swedish. You can have your picnic with hot chocolate and sandwiches and go out for the day. That's what we used to do. For the video, we chose some of the shots in a beautiful old house where I used to live. So it's a beautiful glass veranda that we shot some parts of the Broken video.
There was a story to be told.
Well, it's called Broken, so it is about sadness and really hard feelings. And I think sometimes nature can really help you with that. So it's me out on the ice, seeking answers and seeking solitude. So that's what we wanted to get in the video. For my record, I wanted to find a really good producer to partner with me. I had already worked with Ollie Jacobs, who's a very talented engineer. He engineered on my song These Woods, so I got to know him then, and I really liked him as an engineer, and he was fun to work with. So I asked him if he knew of any good producers, and he introduced me to Erland Cooper.
We might break down, we might fall apart.
I'm really happy that I chose Erland Cooper to co-produce the album with me. It felt really good to work with him. I really liked Erland as a person, and we had the same musical references. He has impeccable taste, and I really trust him when it comes to the decisions we made about the album. I could also see that when he came down to Real World Studios and met the musicians, he had a really good way of communicating with them and really focus in the room, and it was just a really enjoyable process, because recording can be stressful when you have this vision of what you want to get down, and then you're there with all the musicians and you really want to make it all happen in quite a short amount of time. And he helped us focus and just make a few small changes. I remember that there was one song that we just did a few BPMs too fast, and he took it down in tempo, and suddenly everything fell into place. So really important to have someone looking in from the outside, helping us through the recording process.
Where do we begin?
When the recording process at Real World Studio was done, we went straight into mixing. Me and Erland worked away for 12 days in his studio in Shoreditch, so we had 1 track per day to work on. And mixing is such an important step of the way to making a great album. Erland's taste and understanding of my music really helped to make the mixing process enjoyable and make the arrangements shine and make the album something that I'm really proud of.
So where do we begin? You might listen, we might try our best. So where do we begin? We might crumble, we might cave in. So where do we begin?
Oh yeah, we added this little bit.
I love that.